September 30th, 2025. The federal EV tax credit died overnight. New cars average $49,000. Your 2019 Honda is worth half what you paid while bleeding thousands in gas and repairs. Then Tesla drops the Model 2 at $12,749, cheaper than anything in America. But here's what's strange. Seniors over 55 are walking away. Why would the demographic spending $94,000 per decade on cars refuse a vehicle promising $30,000 in savings? What's buried in the fine print that could turn this bargain into your biggest financial mistake by 2030? The answer isn't in what Tesla shows you. It's in what they're betting you won't discover until year 3. Let me walk you through what's actually happening here. Tesla needed this car to exist. Without the $7,500 subsidy, their Model 3 at $38,900 looked expensive next to $27,000 gas cars. So they made a calculated risk, aluminum-ion batteries from KTL's Nevada facility. Here's where it gets interesting. These cells deliver 53 kilowatt hours, but somehow push 300 miles. Better efficiency than the 60 kilowatt hour Model 3. Tesla shaves 620 pounds through Giga casting, achieved 0.19 drag coefficient versus Model 3's 0.23, and built thermal systems that precondition based on your driving patterns. The engineering is genuinely impressive, but here's the catch you seniors are spotting. This is the first mass production of aluminum-ion cells. Lab testing shows 20,000 charge cycles, potentially 600,000 miles before hitting 90% capacity. Sounds incredible, right? Except we won't have real-world validation until 2033. Tesla's warranty covers 8 years or 120,000 miles. If you're planning to drive this 250,000 miles over 15 years, you're beta testing technology that doesn't have a decade of field data yet. For 5 to 7 year ownership, the risk is minimal. But if you're 62 and thinking, this will be my last car, you're making a $12,749 bet on unproven battery chemistry. Is that conservative retirement planning or gambling with money you can't afford to lose? Those 300-mile EPA numbers? They collapse to 210 miles in Minnesota winter at 15 degrees Fahrenheit. Every EV loses 25 to 30% range in severe cold. This isn't a Tesla problem, it's physics. The thermal system helps by preconditioning the battery using stored energy, potentially adding 8 to 12 miles on cold mornings. But here's what the marketing doesn't emphasize. If you park outside in sub-zero weather and drive 150 miles daily, you don't want this car. You need the Model 3 long range with its 82 kilowatt-hour pack. This creates a geographic divide. Southern and coastal states? Model 2 makes perfect sense. Northern Plains, Upper Midwest, mountain states, you're cutting your usable range below comfortable margins 6 months per year. This is where Tesla made their smartest senior-focused decision. Urban parking garages have 8-foot spaces with 6.5-foot SUVs crushing you from both sides. Conventional doors need 18 to 24 inches of clearance. Butterfly doors need 11 inches. Tesla studied 847 people aged 58 to 74 and found conventional doors require 35 to 40 degrees torso twist while lifting your leg over the sill. Anyone with arthritis or hip surgery knows that motion triggers pain. Butterfly doors reduce rotation to 12 to 15 degrees. The door opening is 42 inches tall and 38 inches wide, 11% more entry space than Model 3. Driver's seat sits at 24.2 inches high, nearly identical to a Honda Accord. Hip angle is 102 degrees, which ergonomics research identifies as ideal for lower back issues and knee replacements. But here's the twist. Model X Falcon wings cost $2,800 to $4,500 to repair with 12 motors and 6 sensors per door. Model 2 uses a single mechanical hinge with gas struts. No motors, no sensors. Strut replacement takes 20 minutes and costs $120 versus $3,200 for Model X. Each door weighs 26 pounds and needs 8 to 12 pounds of force to open. Tesla ran 100,000 cycles from minus 15 degrees Fahrenheit to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Hinges are 316 stainless steel, rated 15 years. One tester with severe arthritis in both knees and a hip replacement said getting in and out felt noticeably easier than his 2022 Camry. The mechanical simplicity here is actually more reliable than the over-engineered Falcon Wings. Here's where Tesla's case gets compelling. Honda Civic costs $27,500. At $4.50 gas and 35 miles per gallon, you're burning $1,540 yearly in fuel, plus $450 maintenance. Oil changes every 5,000 miles at $75. Brake pads at 40,000 miles for $320. Transmission fluid at 60,000 miles for $180. Over 5 years, that's $9,950 in operating costs. Depreciation drops the Civic to $16,000, an $11,500 loss. Total cost of ownership, $21,450. Model 2 long-range costs $15,149 up front. Electricity at 28 cents per kilowatt hour equals $520 yearly. Maintenance is tire rotations and air filters. $145 annually or $725 over 5 years. Depreciation to $10,000 means $5,149 loss. Total cost, $5,874. You save $15,576 over 5 years. $30,000 to $35,000 over 10 years. But here's the analysis most reviews skip. That math assumes perfect execution. No major repairs outside warranty. Battery chemistry performing as promised. No accidents requiring Giga casting replacement. No panoramic glass roof. Steel costs $180 versus $850 for glass. Bonus, 22% better insulation extends range 2 to 4%. No LED light bar across the rear. Conventional tail lights cost $85 versus $320. Simplified front LEDs cost $240 versus $720 adaptive matrix. No power lumbar support. Manual adjustment saves $180 per seat. No heated steering wheel unless you opt for the $1,200 cold weather package. No ambient interior lighting saves $95. Seats use 6-way manual adjustment instead of 12-way power. Single-pane windows hit 70 to 72 decibels at 70 miles per hour versus Model Y's 65 decibels. Similar to a Honda Accord, just not luxury silent. Tesla cut aesthetics and comfort, but left safety, drivetrain, and durability intact. For someone shopping on price, these compromises make sense. For someone expecting Model Y refinement at Model 2 prices, disappointment is guaranteed. This is trade-off number 4, the one that determines whether Model 2 is your last car or your biggest mistake. Front and rear sections are single aluminum pieces, replacing 70-plus parts. Tesla's 9,000-ton press produces complete castings in 90 seconds versus 4 to 6 hours with traditional stamping. This is how they'll build 500,000 units annually at a single factory. But crash repairability suffers dramatically. Traditional repairs cost $2,000 to $3,600. Body shops cut out damaged sections and weld in replacements. With Giga casting, if impact cracks the aluminum, you can't patch it. Aluminum loses 60% structural integrity once cracked. The entire front or rear module must be replaced. At Tesla service centers, that part costs $3,200 to $4,100, plus $1,800 to $2,400 labor. Total, $5,000 to $6,500. Insurance carriers caught on fast. They've raised premiums 8 to 14% for Teslas, specifically because of this. Low-speed impacts under 12 miles per hour only damage bolt-on modules costing $280 to $420. Above 18 to 20 miles per hour, costs explode. Here's the paradox. The car is safer to drive because that rigid structure performs better in crash tests. You're more likely to walk away uninjured. But repair bills after accidents are higher. For buyers over 55 with clean driving records, this might be acceptable. You're betting on not having a moderate severity accident. For younger drivers in high traffic areas, this is a legitimate concern. Home Level 2 charger costs $600 to $1,200 and delivers 25 miles per hour of charging. Plug in overnight, wake up full. Supercharging from 10% to 80% takes 22 minutes and costs $12 to $16. Twice weekly means $104 to $130 monthly. But here's what fundamentally changes with EV ownership. You stop thinking about filling up. With gas cars, you wait until nearly empty, then spend 8 minutes at a station. With EVs, you plug in whenever parked at home, even at 60% charge. You're topping off constantly rather than depleting fully. After 2 weeks, this becomes completely automatic. Most Model 2 owners will never see battery below 30% because they're adding 150 to 200 miles nightly while sleeping. The 2-button interior, just hazard lights and defrost, sounds extreme until you realize voice controls work surprisingly well. Set temperature to 68 responds in under 400 milliseconds. The system understands context. I'm cold automatically increases temperature by 3 degrees. Defrost windshield activates defrost and increases fan speed without touching anything. Tesla offers free 30-minute orientations at service centers. Most people adapt within 1 week. Here's why seniors are walking away from $30,000 in savings. They're reading the calendar differently. They're not betting on 2033 battery validation when planning their last car in 2025. They're not gambling on unproven aluminum-ion chemistry when one failed bet costs $9,200 in year 9. They see the $6,500 Giga casting repair and know their clean driving record is hope, not guarantee. But this moment is critical. Tesla just proved EVs can undercut gas cars on sticker price, not just total cost. Model 2 forces every automaker to answer. If Tesla builds a 300-mile EV for $12,749, why are you charging $35,000? March 31, 2026 pre-orders open. By 2027, aluminum-ion batteries have 18 months of field data. By 2028, insurance costs stabilize. Seniors passing today aren't wrong. They're early. The question isn't whether this works. It's whether you're positioned when data proves it does. Reserving now or waiting for validation? Drop it below. This is Tesla Zone. We break down what actually matters in EV innovation. The affordable EV revolution just started. The only question is who sees it coming. Tesla just leaked documents showing the Model 2 could hit dealerships at $25,000 before incentives. Multiple Fremont sources confirm Elon signed off on 3 radical changes that slash production costs by 40%, while somehow beating gas cars on total ownership expense. Is this the move that finally kills the used Camry market? Or are we about to see the biggest manufacturing risk Tesla's ever taken? Because what's happening inside Gigafactory Texas right now isn't just about building a cheaper EV, it's about rewriting what Americans expect from a $25,000 car. Here's what nobody's talking about. Tesla's Shanghai suppliers just shifted ceramic electrolyte film production schedules by 8 weeks. Japanese partners are ramping up solid-state separator materials, and insiders at Fremont say the Model 2 pack won't be traditional lithium-ion. It's a semi-solid hybrid configuration targeting 44 to 52 kilowatt-hours depending on trim. This isn't speculation. This is supply chain movement with real money behind it. The numbers tell a different story than what you're hearing elsewhere. Current Model 3 LFP packs deliver around 160 to 170 watt-hours per kilogram. The Model 2's semi-solid design could push that to 220 to 245 watt-hours per kilogram. That's a 120 to 160 pound weight reduction while keeping the same usable energy. For a car expected to weigh under 3,000 pounds, cutting 150 pounds of battery mass changes physics. Acceleration improves, handling tightens, efficiency climbs without adding a single horsepower. But here's where it gets controversial. With a drag coefficient between 0.23 to 0.25 and smaller frontal area than Model 3, even a 48 kilowatt-hour semi-solid pack could deliver 275 to 310 miles EPA rated. Real-world highway driving at 65 miles per hour? You're still looking at 230 to 250 miles,